Hello, fellow players of Hero Wars. I'm Jay. Welcome to Jay vs. Hero Wars. Today I will be talking about countering Kark because it's been highly requested. So I'm not going to go into covering every single Kark meta team, but I will talk about different heroes that I like as a starting point for countering Kark. So without further ado, let's check it out. Alright guys, so this is my tentative list for countering Kark, right? Of course we have Andvari, right, who is a natural enemy of Kark, so it just makes sense that he's at the top of this list. And before Andvari was even in the game, people were using Fox to counter Kark. I realize a lot of people don't know about this or were unaware because they maybe started when Andvari was already in the game, but Fox is another counter to Kark. We also have Yasmin, who is very, very fast, which is why I put her on this counter list. It just seems that Kark is unable to keep up with Yasmin's swift agility, and so for that reason, Yasmin is a pretty solid counter to Kark. Keep in mind, though, with Yasmin, you will need some support to keep Yasmin alive because Yasmin is heavily reliant on dodge. We also have Ching Mao. Ching Mao is dangerous. Now, I love Kark, so I use him both on Facebook and on mobile, but on Facebook I have him almost maxed out, and anytime I see a Ching Mao, I really try to avoid that matchup. Ching Mao just really destroys Kark. That's the bottom line there. Phobos, and here's 2 stars because Phobos on Facebook and web, due to the rework, is now a counter for Kark because Phobos targets physical attack. On mobile, this is not the case because Phobos still targets magic attack. He didn't get the same rework that the other platforms did. Next we have Elmir. Elmir is very good because Elmir has that skill where he can basically divide himself up and basically lessen his health. This means that Kark can basically hit those copies, and this can be super frustrating for Kark users. I don't know if it's necessarily a hard counter, but basically Elmir can definitely deter any Kark user, so I put him on the list. We also have Orion, who's decent, but on Facebook now, I'm not entirely sure that the ODH combo is as good against Kark now as it once was. And because of the magic defense skin that they added to Kark for Facebook and web, Orion is less lethal. But on mobile, still stick with Orion. Orion's great. Satori, same thing. Satori is a great counter hero. So with the magic defense added to Kark, he's a little bit less of a counter, but on mobile, you're still good to go. So that is kind of what we're looking at for my particular list. Of course, not on here is Jorgen. Jorgen is great for countering Kark. The reason I didn't put him up here is because on Facebook and web, right, Sebastian can easily nullify Jorgen. And on mobile, you can simply put up your own Jorgen to try to counter that other Jorgen, right? So it's a whole Jorgen fest. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So Ishmael can also be useful for countering Kark, but you really need to use the right team, so I didn't put that particular hero on this counter list. We also have the twins who are filthy, right? But again, I didn't want to put too much credence. People say you rely on the twins too much, so I decided not to put them on my counter list here. But the twins can definitely counter Kark. I see it all the time. I don't love facing the twins with a Kark. But anyway, that's kind of what we're talking about. I will be going into some examples right now. All right, guys, so here we are in game. I have 3 matchups that I want to show you guys. The first one is an Orion matchup gone wrong, right? So this is an ODH combo team that I don't use Jorgen in, but it doesn't quite work out. And part of that is because Astaroth is covering for Kark, so that's part of it for sure. But another part is obviously Kark is able to sustain a little more damage because of that magic defense skin that he has. So here we will see actually Kark gets taken out, but luckily because we have Astaroth on this team, Kark is able to recover. So there goes down Kark, right? Kark goes down, Kark comes back, instant skill again, right? And basically Orion goes down, and after that, the ODH team is kind of no more. The next setup that I have for you guys is one with Fox. A lot of people question, my advocating of Fox. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys a matchup where it works out. Right, we have Kira, Fox, Nebula, Martha, and Astaroth. And this is a pretty common team that you'd see before Andvari even existed. So this would be a way to counter Kark. And Kira, right, is very popular because A, she's the blender, right? She's also great on all platforms, Facebook, web, and mobile, and she's obtainable for free, right? So free to play players can get her. She's definitely one of my top heroes that I use on mobile as well. So, you know, this is a good team, and I just want to show, obviously Kark's already out, and here they're about to take out the remaining Martha. So Fox can play a huge part in that. And I also have one where I subbed in Ching Mao for Fox, and it does the same thing. I mean, and this is a common thing that you see because a lot of people have trouble if they only use Kira versus Kark. But when you have, Ching Mao on her own even is really good. I've seen Ching Mao take down Kark no problem with different setups. So that was just kind of what I wanted to demonstrate here. Just reinforcing kind of what I was talking about earlier in some of the counters. So, and I'll show you my Kark, right? So I'm not fibbing when I say I use Kark. So here's my Kark. And yeah, so, not quite done, but, pretty far along. I think all my skins are almost done. And this is the one part where I'm not done with him, as well as the patronage. But if we're looking at artifacts, those have been done. Gift developments have been done. Glyphs, all done. Items, right, you can see are done. So really the only thing that I really have left is this last skin. So yeah, that's kind of how I approach matchups not to battle if you're me, right? I use Kark. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you found it useful. Feel free to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you all in Dominion.